Hello, everybody. I just want to do a quick video overview of the causes of the Civil War. So we have a good understanding based on the election of 1860, the compromises that we looked at in the 1850s, all the sectionalist policies and tensions that have been growing really since the Constitution was written, and we saw the first compromises between the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists over the issue of enslavement. And that is our major cause of the Civil War. Number one cause of the Civil War is the issue of enslavement and slavery. The South wants it to exist, the North does not. The South wants it to expand, the North wants to contain it. When we look at the other reasons, the economy. The South's economy is based on the system of enslavement. States' rights. The South wants it to be their state's right to have their system of slavery exist. Territorial expansion. The South wants slavery to expand into the new territories, the North does not. And then finally, Lincoln's election is, like we said, that tipping point, that catalyst in the last lesson that leads to the South and many other Southern states finally seceding from the Union, forming their own country, the Confederate States of America, and soon beginning the Civil War shortly after the election of 1860. Now, just to take a look at a little video visual here, the economy, right? The South is dependent on agrarian economy. Cotton is one of the major exports of the South, using enslaved labor as their labor force. States' rights versus federal rights. The Southern states wanted to be able to nullify federal acts that they felt were going against their states' rights to have their system of slavery exist. Obviously, the system of enslavement. We have Northern abolitionists movement who are working tirelessly to try and abolish the system. And again, that election of 1860. So when we look at the North versus the South, we have the Union versus the Confederacy. And when we look at this map, it should be fairly familiar to the maps that we've been looking at so far in this unit. When we looked at the compromises, when we looked at the election of 1860, right, we're seeing that very clear sectional divide. When we look at the population breakdown, we have about 22 million people living in the North, 9 million people living in the South. About 4 million of that Southern population is enslaved. So the North has more money, more factories, more horses, more railroads, more farmlands. They really are more equipped with many more advantages and more powerful than the Confederate States. However, the Confederate States are fighting on most of their own territory, so they have that like home field advantage that we talked about in the American Revolution, which allows them to have a better familiarity with the land around them. They also have access to several major trading ports in the South that allows for them to import goods that they may need. When we're looking at this breakdown here, the North thinks that it's going to be a very quick victory, when in fact it will go on for 4 years. The Confederacy was able to mount a stubborn resistance against the Union for 4 long years. So again, major cause of the Civil War is the system of enslavement that exists. So very important to remember that that is the number one reason why the Civil War begins, why the South secedes from the Union and forms their own country, is this system of slavery that they are trying so hard to preserve. So quick little overview there on causes of the Civil War.